Welcome back to, we call this Montego and I, the calmest puppy I've ever held in my entire life. He just exists. No, I'm just kidding. Wait till he's like 4 months old. This boy's gonna be wild, I can tell already. All right, guys, again, starting over. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 127. And my name is Sparky. We do not have Bethany again. She's with baby today. She's got a busy day, so it's just gonna be me. Just by the way, guys, anyone can post questions the day before, the week before, even a month before, whatever you guys want. All of the questions are always gonna come on my papers. We can always read them off of here. But if you guys wanna throw in a question in the chat, I really enjoy doing these live questions. I feel like that gives us a different vibe, and I've just enjoyed it. So if you hear your question being addressed and you're listening, throw another response in the chat. If I answer the question, I see a response, I'll try to get to that one as well, because it just feels more interactive when we do it that way. I like it. Sorry, guys, I only have one arm. Sacrifices had to be made. It's called Cute Puppy Life. And we're going to try to go through as many of these questions as possible, but man, we must have got popular because I got like 35 questions every week now.
So
all right.
where can you guarantee they'll get their questions answered?
We can guarantee all of your questions get answered in our online live school. Shameless plug all the way. Links in our bio though. But yeah, I really do mean that because every Wednesday we actually do a 1 hour live compared to the 30-minute one we're doing here. And we tend to have a much smaller group of people. What? What's going on?
You're getting live questions already.
I already love it. Give me those live questions. I'm going to answer one first just because I got a very young, probably 10-week-old, 9-week-old puppy right here. And I got an 11-week-old puppy question. So let's get to it. This is from Alex. My puppy is 11 weeks old. How many potty breaks should I give overnight? 11 weeks old, I would expect to need maybe about one. That should be about it. So the big thing to get those less frequent potty breaks is, oh, everyone's laughing at how calm this puppy is outside of this room. So whenever I give potty breaks to a puppy, I want to think about when I go to bed, when my puppy goes to sleep. Even if I got a puppy in the crate by 10 p.m., but I don't go to bed till 11, I need to find out when I need to cut off water, so prevent access to water, probably about 7:30, 8 p.m. for a younger puppy. And then if I go to bed at 11, my puppy gets their final potty at 10:55. So you want to go right before you as the human go to bed to make sure your puppy has an opportunity to go potty, and that will get you probably an extra hour or two of sleep. What's a good average time for a young puppy? About 5 to 6 hours for a young 11-week-old puppy. If you have a larger breed dog, a lab, a shepherd, even just a doodle or something, you're probably likely to get maybe a little bit longer out of him. Oh, he's getting mad at me. He doesn't want to be on his back anymore. All right, you can flip over. There you go. But yeah, usually you get 5 to 6 hours with the younger puppy. What you can try doing as they get older and they get a little bit more mature is you can increase that time periodically. Go from 5 hours to 5 hours and 15 minutes. 5:15 to 5:30, 5:45, 6 hours, you get the idea. And as you do this more and more, eventually you can extend out the sleep time and get your puppy to sleep 6 to 8 hours. But I think a good number to start off with is 5 to 6 hours. And if that means that you wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m., try to plan for that ahead of time so it's not your puppy barking to wake you up and then you getting up and acknowledging that bark. It's a demanding behavior that then gets rewarded when we get up and take them out. So if you know that they're doing it at 5 o'clock pretty regularly, set an alarm on your phone, like with vibration setting under your pillow or under your back or something, so they don't hear the vibration, but it's just kind of reverberating through your head. When you wake up, just lay there. You see them up, you see them kind of whining and fussing a little bit, just pause. When you get a moment where they just kind of, and they get quiet, then stand up and go acknowledge it. If you acknowledge the whine while they're doing it, it's a demanding behavior and you're rewarding that demanding behavior. Are you sitting up comfortably? Okay, very nice, sir, very nice. This is by far the laziest puppy I've ever held in my arms, on one of our lives especially. Good call, guys. Good call. All right, this is from Michelle. Love your content. Thank you. How do I stop my nearly 11-week-old biting my 7-year-old, bites ears and legs and jumps on her and chases her? Can you do me a favor? Turn that light down. I can't read the paper. I got so many spots in my eyes right now. I'm only reading every other word. Oh, spectacular. Is it bringing my eyes out? All right, so 11-week-old biting my 7-year-old dog, bites ears and legs and jumps on her and chases her. This is normal, guys. Most puppies are going to do that to an older dog. But a big principle that a lot of people follow is let them work it out. Let the older dog teach the younger dog. It's not fair to your older dog, though. Most older dogs aren't going to teach the puppy they're going to just put them down with a hard paw or nip at them and scare them. So letting dogs work it out is a very, very, very specific training technique that dog trainers with heavily trained dogs, specifically trained to do that exact thing, can do. Most people, like 99.999%. Oh, thank you for the kisses. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Kind of smells like poop. Poop kisses. Yummy. All right. Lost my train of thought. All right. Older dog, not fair to have them deal with the younger puppy, but all puppies that are in a house should be on leash if they're not in the crate or in the playpen. Because when a puppy's on a leash, you have leverage over them. If they're constantly bugging and harassing and messing with the older dog, that means that the older dog is eventually going to take it in their own hands, and they're probably not going to be trained properly how to do so. So it's your job as the owner and the leader of your puppy to help them understand what they're allowed to do. If you have them on a leash and your older dog wants to come over and check them out while you're, thank you, very nice, thank you, sir. Wants to play with them while you're holding a leash, that's a little bit different. But if puppy is constantly going to the older dog, jumping up, harassing them, and just always trying to play with them, your older dog's not gonna like that. Most adult dogs do not like puppies. It's very rare. It takes a very motherly or fatherly dog to actually enjoy spending time with the puppy because they're usually just energy reincarnate, unless you're this little thing, and then you're the calmest thing known to mankind. But advocate for your older dog. Anytime they try to go towards the other dog, pull them in, redirect them. And there should always be a purpose to your puppy coming out of crate. And this is something I've gone over many times with many different lives, which is if a puppy is out of the crate, they're not just hanging out and doing nothing. There's always a goal for them. Free time is broken up into 3 parts. And if you know our show well, we're all about structure schedules, all about, we love crates. We call it the house because it sounds a little bit cuter to guests coming in. Not the cage, Josh. Not the cage. So what it basically means is that when they're in the crate, they're settling and relaxing. A puppy this old should be sleeping about 18 to 20 hours a day. When they're over 4 months, you can usually do about 16 to 20. When they're over 2 years old, they go back up to like 22 hours a day because they're just lazy things that sleep all day long. Are you licking my arm? Okay. So when puppy's in the crate, that's them relaxing and settling. When they come out of the crate, we break free time up into 3 parts, and hopefully this will answer other people's questions as well. Free time is walk and play part 1, training part 2, supervised separation part 3. That part 1, the walk and the play, that can be you playing with the toy or you advocating for the engagement between adult dog and puppy. As in, adult dog wants to play with the toy, you have 1 toy for adult dog, 1 toy for puppy. Guys, I think he's done. I think he actually has to potty pretty quick. When I get panting like that, usually means I'm about to get peed on. Thank you. See you, dude. You're very calm. I didn't want you to pee on me. Advocate for that play. You can double engage with both dogs at the same time, or you can even just play with the puppy. And if the older dog is interested, see how he does. See how they acclimate to each other. If puppy is doing a lot of jumping on the older dog, hold the puppy back a little bit. Let the older dog engage with him. Fine balance between dog play is one going towards one, backing off, the other one pushing in, backing off. It's like this wave motion. Back and forth, back and forth. That's how you know you have good dog play, and you're not getting ear pulling and holding. You're not getting hair or skin grabbing and holding. That's good dog play. Part 2 is the training. That's what uses most of that mental energy to allow your puppy to get sleepy and tired. And then part 3 is supervised separation. That's teaching them to exist in a enclosed or impeded environment to where they can't be next to the other dog. What I mean by that is I can use a playpen. Put him in the playpen. He can watch the older dog walking around. He can watch us walking around. They always have to be monitored in the playpen for safety reasons, obviously. And then when he's out of the playpen, he can be on leash. You could even do a back tie. You could do a dog bed, put him on the dog bed, clip his leash to the harness, tie the leash to a kettlebell or something that weighs more than him that he can't drag around. This allows your older dog to move within a space. Ooh, puppy's jumping on me. Move away and it allows your older dog to give space. That's how I try it in the beginning, is have leash, make sure you have a purpose for your puppy being out of the crate. And if your puppy's ever going to be out of the crate and just not being monitored or not being watched as closely, put them in the playpen and just make sure the playpen is in the same room that you're in. Puppy shouldn't be free roaming. It's one of the easiest ways for them to get themselves in trouble and to get sick off of things that they eat or get beat up by the older dog because the older dog doesn't like them yet. Relationships don't tend to go well if we don't advocate for the older dog. They tend to build resentment and never like the puppy. So just something to think about. Do we have live questions?
We do. We have quite a few.
I'll just read it off the screen. All right, this is from Rose. What can we do about a 6-month-old puppy that jumps and is so excited to meet people? You had to ask. I have to ask you, how old is? What was the age of the puppy?
6 months.
6 month old. Thank you. So a puppy that's 6 months old, I have to ask, is how long have they been allowed to greet people? Have we been permissive with those greetings? Are we allowing them to go up and say hi to people? Because if so, you have a lot of backtracking to do. When I take puppies out on walks, I would say between 4 and 6 months old, they're just now learning how to get outside. I don't let them greet people or dogs ever. Because I'm still in the training process of upping my own value to my puppy. I still need to become that leadership figure that they see me and they know that I'm the one who gives all the good commands and I help them understand what their purpose is outside. That comes from working with food, lots of redirection. I walk down the street, my puppy sees a person, I see them walking towards us, puppy come, and I start moving in the opposite direction. Advocate for your own space as well. If your puppy tries to jump or someone comes up in a hurry to say hello, be like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. We're training. We're working on not jumping. Oh, I don't mind. I love puppies so much. Ooh, that's a big pet peeve of mine. It doesn't matter what the other person wants. It matters what you're trying to teach to your puppy. If that's a calm puppy, then they can't say hi. And eventually you're going to get to a point to your puppy naturally defaults having someone come up, asking for a sit, and they sit there calmly. You can give them a treat. They stay there calmly. They're relaxed because you are the thing that they look most towards. You as the human, as their leadership figure. And this is when you're at a point to where you consider greetings. How I do that with other people is I say, my puppy needs to sit and be calm. That's very challenging for my puppy to do though if you're big energy and excited, because my puppy will feed off that energy. Sorry, anyone whose eardrums I just blasted out. But you need to be someone who helps the other person understand how to engage with your puppy. I've got my pouch on me all the time because I have a new puppy who's still under 8 months old, 10 months old, and we're still using food for a majority of our walks. I've built up the want and the need and the drive to want that food with all the training sessions I've done where I don't put food in a bowl. I keep it in my pouch. I'm working most of my meals in a training pouch, giving it to them in handfuls of food to up my own value. So when I go outside, the food has significantly more value and the people have significantly less, especially unless they have the food, then they have more value. Because that's the next part. I have my puppy sit, I tell them good, I give them a treat, then I take a treat and I hand it to the person and I recruit their help. If you never ask someone to help you train your puppy out in the world by giving them a treat, your mind will be blown at how much assistance you'll get from that person. Hey bud, here's a treat. My puppy needs to stay calm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow you to lure the puppy with come, and then you say sit, tell them good in a neutral, good, give them the treat, and you can do a gentle pet on the chest. Head pets, body rubs, baby choke, that gets jump. The minute my puppy does the jump, we're done with that greeting. We're getting the heck out of there. There is no round 2 for that person. They've already failed. They've already lost it, and we just leave. They're not the right candidate to help you train your puppy to be calm around people because they can't help themselves. So if they are calm, if they can get that sit, they're able to give that reward and do a gentle, calm, reaffirming pet on the chest, and my puppy is able to stay relaxed. Be like, hey guys, thank you so much. See if you can catch us next time. Then start moving and get yourself out of the situation. If you hover and stay there for too long, your puppy is bound to jump just because they get overstimulated and they get overexcited. So make it more of a transaction that they can help you with rather than I'm going to be here for 20 minutes having a long conversation. You're not out there for people. You're out there for your puppy. You're training your puppy and it takes months, if not years. And any of our people who are sticking on harnesses the whole time, you're doing food work for your dog's whole life until they're like maybe 6 or 7 years old, and then you can start weaning off from the level of food work that you're doing. You guys just have to kind of play around with what you're given. Every puppy's different. Every puppy responds a little bit differently to that type of greeting from a person or a dog. All right, this is from Lulu, and we had Quickie respond to it. Quickie. All right, Luli. My 12-week-old puppy barks at everything and everyone. I do socialize him. I take him everywhere I go, but he just wants to bark attack everyone. It might not be the fact that you don't socialize him enough. It might actually be the fact that you might be socializing him too much. He's 12 weeks old. Most 12 weeks old get very overstimulated very quickly. Barks at everything and everyone. I do socialize him. Let me ask you this though. What's the level of permissiveness? If he barks at a person as they're walking up, do we allow that person to still pet him? If so, that bark is being rewarded. It's probably demand barking. He's probably saying every time I see a person I bark, they magically make their way over and I get all the pets and all the loves and all the chest rubs and all the love. If that's happening, he's being rewarded for it. So try to redirect him. Try to do the opposite. Try to work him around people, but below threshold. 12-week-old puppy, I don't even know if that's old enough to be on the ground yet. But if you're walking within crowds, you're walking around a lot of people, and he's doing this bark, I would reward it. I'd go opposite. I have him maybe in my sling, maybe in a stroller. I have him in something like that. If I'm holding him in my arms, that's an affection move. This is something that when I hold a puppy like this, all the kisses, I'm actually overstimulating my puppy even more. So I would advise to either do a low arm hold. My favorite is one of the slings. No, not the one that goes across your chest. It's not a baby. They don't need to hear your heartbeat. No, the one where they sit kind of like a coach bag. If you see those women that have those really large coach bags that sits on their elbow and it kind of hangs down below, they have slings that go across your shoulder, hang on your side, and the puppy can be there, and we're kind of just walking as if it was a coach bag on a rib. That's the best possible solution because you can walk with your puppy, see this large group. I'm looking at my puppy do this, and they perk up. Ears up and forward, eyes alert, and this hyper-focused stare. That is your first intent to bark. You're not waiting for them to bark. You're too late. You can't correct a puppy. They're too young. And honestly, I don't correct puppies until they're like significantly older. What you can do in that moment, though, is you can do a simple redirection. No, I'm not going to tell my puppy heel and then walk with them in the sling. I'm just going to simply turn and walk away. I'm going to work my puppy below threshold. When they look like they're trying to look back and they give up and they kind of just relax and settle back in the sling, then I'll turn and I'll go in my original direction. Not back towards the crowd, parallel to it. They're walking this way, I'm walking this way, and I'm just going alongside them. My puppy looks over, looks away, good. Hand in pouch, give a treat. You're training them to focus on you and exist for you, not always look at the other people. So you can reward when they lose interest in the other people and become below threshold and pay more attention to you. You can even do eye contact work. Puppy looks at the people, looks away, good. Food to nose, food to eyes, good, treat. And reward them for that. But you need to get them below threshold before you're ready to do it. I do love that you're getting a puppy out to socialize. And one of the most common things that people ask me is, how do I socialize a puppy? When my vet, which is a big one now, says he can't be outside till he's 16 weeks old and he's had all his rounds of vaccination, which, by the way, is relatively new. That's not a thing that's been around. That kind of started happening during COVID when, what was the illness that went around that all the dogs were getting sick when? Not parvo, not distemper, the new one that's like puppy COVID. It doesn't matter. There's one illness that's gone around that if you ask your vet about it, they're going to tell you right away, and it's the one that's like what they're calling puppy COVID. It's the thing that's actually killing puppies, which is why most vets are saying wait till vaccination, until that final round. But that doesn't mean that you can't go outside. What we just mentioned, put your dog in the sling, that's just teaching them to exist around people without engaging with them. Most people, by the way, carry a lot of bacteria on their fingers, so we don't want a lot of people petting our puppies. We just want to teach them to exist around us, pay attention to us, receive food from us, and then take their leadership from, you guessed it, us. The other people don't matter yet. You're the only one that matters because you're the one holding your puppy. All right, I need some light questions. You got any light questions up there? I feel like I'm just shutting people down.
How much water do you give?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Is that just it? How much water do you give a 9-week-old golden? What's the recipe again? Oh, I love it. We got a returner. All right. The recipe for water, and this is just a national standard. This isn't like for every single dog. I can tell you right now, Dalmatians and certain Spitz breeds, they need more water, but that's more breed specific because they have liver issues. The average standard, though, for most dogs, it's a half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. So let's break that down again. I have a puppy that's 15 pounds. I'm doing a quarter cup of water. I have a puppy that's a little bit less, maybe 10 pounds. I'm doing an eighth of a cup of water. You can mess with the measurement based off that. And if people don't like to do math like me, I hate math. Then I'm going to go into that little wonderful calculator on my phone and look up the measurements. Or I'll do the Google, as Bethany likes to call it, and we'll ask the Google to give us those measurements as well. So you guys can do whatever you want. You can move it to grams, you can move it to ounces, milliliters, whatever you want. But it's basically a half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. You got another light one up there, Kimberly?
Yeah, this one asking what to do about a puppy not interested in stimulating toys.
What to do with a puppy not interested in stimulating toys? It's not a big deal. You don't really have to do much at all about it. Some dogs are players, some dogs aren't players. Some dogs like to play, some dogs don't. We have a 11-year-old dog and a 9-year-old dog. Our 9-year-old dog would play with anything. She doesn't really care about it. She just likes to engage with us. Our 11-year-old dog will pick up a toy, carry it around, just enjoy holding it, but never actually play with it. Every dog is different. Some dogs have the drive to play, some dogs don't. If you want to build drive, you can do that by using the toy, giving squeaks, moving it around, trying to build interest. But if you have a dog that doesn't care about toys, that's personality. There's not much you can do about it. If you're using a toy because you need to use it for training because they don't take food, that's not the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that they don't want their food. You can build drive for food. You can even look at our previous videos. We have probably in every single video we have at least one mention how to build food drive. You train for your meals. And if your puppy doesn't want to train, they're just not hungry for that meal. Next meal, next meal, next meal. Usually by the third meal, they're like, wow, I'm kind of hungry. And that food's looking really enticing. Oh, you want to sit? All right, great. Sit, good. Handful of kibble, 5 or 6 pieces at a time. Let them chew. Move on to the next handful of kibble. You can do come, play, sit, down, heel, drop it, leave it, fetch it, whatever you want. But you got to build more drive for the food. I don't actually know if it was for that reason. If it's just for play, you just want your dog to engage with you during play, you can try to build drive with the toy. It's squeak, squeak, move it, see if they engage. And the minute they put their mouth on it, yay, let it go. Don't pull. When you're trying to build drive, you let them win. If you're trying to bring down drive, you make sure you win. If you got a dog that just kind of exists with the toy and does really well with it, then do what you're already doing. But you need to let the dog win more often when they're playing, even if it's like choo choo, yeah, woo, party time. Your puppy builds drive and they actually enjoy the play a little bit more. So play around with that. Oh, we got some of our shorty ones now. Actually, I'm going to go for one long one. Hello, this is from Emily. I have an 11-week-old purebred long-haired German Shepherd puppy. Oh, we're getting into it. I already had a feeling. Right when I heard that breed. I've had so many issues with German Shepherds in the last 5 years. Ever since COVID started, it's been a really, really popular breed. I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that most breeders are overbreeding their current stock, which is creating some greater issues of separation anxiety, frustration, just create anxiety or boundary anxiety in general. So if this question is going to ask that, that might be a similar answer to what I'm going to give you. We are his first home. We are struggling a lot with his aggression. He likes to bite and tear through everything, especially us. We have tried paws reinforcement. We have tried deterring him away from biting to a toy. We've used a leash, but nothing seems to work. He actively tries to avoid the toy you are giving him and goes straight for your hand. He likes to nip at your feet when you try to ignore him, or he just keeps going. His biting is no longer playful, and he snaps his jaw at us. He has drawn blood from us, and we are at a loss of what to do. Is it possible you could provide us any tips? Gray zone. I don't actually think that's aggression. I think you have what the Baby Shark reference came from, how they showed a Belgian Malinois who was like, that's where the Baby Shark video came. They just used their mouth to communicate. If he was with his siblings, he would be biting ears, biting skin, biting at paws, and then eventually he'd bite the wrong thing, and Mama Dog would come over and bite him on the ear, and he'd scream, she'd let go, and he'd be like, all right, that's my boundary. Don't bite your dog. I'm not saying that. Don't bite your dog. I'm not saying that. What you do instead, though, is you have to teach better boundaries. One question I'm going to ask, because it's a question I ask everyone, do you have a leash on your dog? If you don't, shame on you. Have a leash on that dog. You have no leverage. You have no control without a leash. Your puppy bites you. What do you do? Yell no, tell them not to do it, and that hurts. They're like, great. The more you yell, the more it's like we're engaging. Because when I'm like, ah, the puppy's like, yeah, I like that. Let's play some more. They don't understand that. So what you do instead is you have a leash on. You have your bubble, your spatial block. And when I have a puppy doing that play where he's always going for my hands, I'm not on the ground like this playing with him. I'm in this, it's going to look kind of weird, but I'm basically in this position with my feet one over the other, and I'm always in this position. I'm always in a position where I can bring my body up and be a little bit more firm. If my puppy's constantly coming for my feet, I can do a no body block, come up tall, pick up my leash, create a little bit of upward pressure, up and out. To be clear, we are not trying to rip our dog off the ground. That's not what this is about. It's about giving them a moment, allowing them to take a beat. When I lift up and out, I'm not trying to lift all 4 feet off the ground. I'm only actually trying to lift the front 2 feet off the ground by like a 1/4 inch, maybe even 1/2 inch, maybe even full inch. Because what you're doing there is they're trying to dig down to get for your hands or your feet. When you lift up, you create upward pressure. It forces the butt to go down and sit when they give in. I can hold that pressure for about 15, 20 seconds without creating any extra pressure on the neck. We're not choking them, we're not suffocating them, nothing like that. All we're doing is waiting them out. And eventually you're gonna get them, I'm bored, what do we do next? And when they give that position where their butt hits the ground, they settle and relax, hold for an extra second or two, because most of the time the first one's fake, and then slowly lower down the leash. You can try throwing in a good if it doesn't add more stimulation. What's my good sound like? Good. No. Good. My wife calls these my dead eyes. This is what happens when I'm training dogs and they're way overstimulated. Good. Sit. Good. Those are my dead eyes. Because what those eyes translate to a dog is we're not playing, we're not adding any stimulation or energy. We're doing calm mode. We're being relaxed. And then the minute you release that tension, most puppies, especially this puppy, is probably going to come back at you again. Not aggression, it's still play or just a pushiness that they have. No, settle down. Good. Still jumps, take out the good. Maybe the good's not even helping you guys. Maybe it's not valuable to them. Pressure. And now start walking. Start moving. Your puppy very likely is overstimulated from just being in one spot, so you can try to move and redirect that energy. I have a 3-strike rule I like to use as well. This is strike 2 of that 3-strike rule, because you've already done strike 1. You've already done the redirection where you try to redirect to a toy instead. There's something you might want to add to that though. Now that you're adding step 2, it's going to make this step more viable, which is whenever I have a dog where I'm playing and it keeps going for my hands, I'm just trying to train, jump and bite my finger. No! Firm. Pause. Take a breath. No. Grab the toy, insert in the mouth, grab your food pouch, and redirect to place. It gives you an opportunity to redirect. It may not be food redirection. It might be training redirection. But don't reward yet. You can't reward until your puppy's in work mode, no longer bite mode. Otherwise, your puppy says, jump, bite finger, sit, get food. We're rewarding it. No, pause. Grab your food, because you always have a pouch on your hip. If you have a puppy that young and they're out of the crate, even on leash, grab leash, come, place, lure with the food, sit, good, pause. No food yet. My puppy's still really movey. Back to the nose, come, place, sit, good. A little bit calmer. Come, place, sit, good. Now they're what I call the whale eyes, dialed in, watching the food, waiting for it, following it. They're no longer twitchy. They're no longer focused on biting at you and jumping on you. Now they purely just want the food. Then you can start rewarding it. I want you guys to think of a puppy like an atom, an unbridled source of energy. Without channel, atom bomb explosion. That's your puppy's brain pretty much 24/7 when they don't have a command to follow. But what I do is I give them a channel. Come, play, sit, down, heel, drop it, leave it, fetch. Any of those commands, it allows that energy to go down a channel. So instead of them using it in a destructive way, biting at my hands, we help them use it in a productive way to train. We teach them what we want and what we need from them as they become an older dog, and that's what creates a relationship and a bond, like that everlasting bond with your puppy, what most people want. It comes from troubleshooting difficult situations. Okay, I'm gonna do one more over here. Can you just scroll up a little bit for me, please? Ooh, someone said good question. I want to go over that one. How long should a 7-month small breed hold its bladder, and how long should it be sleeping per day? Ooh, that's a great question. Oh, one more thing for that previous question. Minimize affection. If you're giving too much affection, your puppy isn't earning anything, and they're probably considering it more permissive. Therefore, they're going to bite you because you're being more permissive. Cut back on affection, do more training. You're going to create a better relationship and a better bond. There always has to be a balance of 4 to 1. 4 times training, one times affection. If you want to have a good relationship with your puppy, that's already biting at you guys. All right, one more time. All right, how long should a 7-month-old small breed hold its bladder, and how long should it be sleeping per day? 7-month-old? Ooh, does it say the breed?
Small breed.
Small breed. Okay, so a working breed tends to sleep about 15 to 20 hours a day at 7 months old. I'd say a small breed is probably going to give you about 16 to 20 hours a day of sleep. And this obviously, what?
Peekapoo and a Pomeranian.
Oh, Peekapoo and a Pomeranian. That's cool. I like that breed. That's actually a really, really smart breed. But they tend to be a bit of a lazy breed when you're sitting on the couch and they know that they can just chill with you. So if you have a dog that's already relaxing periodically throughout the day, then you're probably going to need about 16 to 20 hours of sleep a day. But just as a disclaimer, a majority of that should still be in the crate, because if they're not in the crate, I implore you to test something. All of you guys, everyone's sitting with your puppy right now. All of you saying that you have the calmest puppy, they have no separation anxiety, and they're just totally relaxed. I implore you to stand up from your chair and walk away and look back at your puppy and tell me if they're still laying down on the couch dead asleep. Most of them won't be, because most dogs don't actually sleep outside the crate. They don't hit REM sleep unless you got one of our 2 lazy dogs who sleep through friggin' earthquakes in life. But most dogs aren't going to sleep when you do that. So most REM sleep and full rest sleep comes from being in the crate. How often do they go potty? What kind of schedule are they on? If I have a dog on a schedule, and I'm not even going to play into if we're not using the crate, because this is our show and we really advocate for crate because it helps puppies understand what we want. So I'm only giving the answer that has to do with crate. If you have already acclimated your dog to be in the crate for 2-3 hours at a time, then they're in the crate for 2-3 hours. They come out of the crate. The first thing we do with them is take them outside to go potty. Then they get their free time window, whatever length that is. At the end of it, they get a little bit more water and they go back in the crate. So I can only answer that question to a certain degree. If I'm doing a 4-hour increment, 3 hours in crate, 1 hour out of the crate, I'm expecting to probably get about maybe 3 potties a day, and that final 4th one right before they go to bed. That's about what I'm looking for. Now, and if I got a young puppy, I had a lot of 12-week-old puppies today. So a lot of 12-week-old puppies, a lot of 11 and 10-week-old puppies. If I got a puppy that young, they're only doing an hour in the crate, maybe an hour and a half. So that means you're taking them out 8 times throughout the day. Hour and a half in, comes out, leash, harness, potty, doesn't go potty, back to the crate for 10 minutes, back outside, does go potty, free time, water, back in crate, rinse and repeat. So you'll probably get maybe 6 to 8 potties from a dog that age. But a 7-month-old, I honestly, I'm usually starting to wean them off a little bit from needing to go out 4 or 5 times throughout the day. I'd be looking at about 3 times a day. That's only if you've already crated, though, and you've already been working on this. If you haven't started the crating process and you're not confining them to a spot where they can truly rest and relax, then you got to go at a lower window. I'd try probably 3 and 1, 3 hours in the crate, 1 hour out of the crate, and the hour out of the crate is only being gotten. Man, I'm mincing my words today. I can't think of my smart words. Kimberly will beat me up later for this, I promise, as she reminds me all of them. But your puppy earns coming out of the crate and getting the free time based off of the potty that they give you. So that's a big one. If you're getting potty access in the home, make sure you're only giving free time if your puppy actually gives you the potty. But yeah, I'd say 7-month-old puppy 3-4 times throughout the day if you're on a good crate schedule. Okay, guys. Did I go over? Oh, I went way over. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next week. And now I can do my awkward smile time while Kimberly turns off the cameras.